Can I check a pulse is the same thing as am I free to go? Am I being detained? This is like sovereign citizen doctors.
Can I check a pulse?
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 Can I check her pulse?
Can I take a pulse?
Can I check a pulse?
I'm a physician. I'm a physician.
I'm a physician.
I am a physician.
I am a physician.
I'm
I'm a
a
physician. I am Renee Good. I am Renee Good.
I am Renee Good.
I am Renee Good. No, you are not Renee Good. Renee Good is dead. I don't know how you guys missed that one. You're probably not a physician either, Bowtie.
What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Dumb Cops. I'm your host, Jay, aka Despot, or DP for short. Please, whether or not you're entertained by my rants, don't blame the accounts or posts that inspire me. Please follow all. Let's have a little fun. Now, over my law enforcement career, I made several observations that baffled me. None more so than the fact that, in my opinion, teachers, more specifically teachers' unions, are the enemy of the U.S. While I got blamed for everything that every cop did on the other side of the country, teachers get blamed for nothing. Our kids are fucked, folks. Completely fucked. And it can't be reversed because it started decades ago with the leftist communist takeovers of our teachers' unions. They get the kids to hate their parents and they achieve victory. Mission accomplished. Another group I noticed were the enemy of my nation, anyone associated with the medical profession. And this was before all the lies we currently know related to the COVID disaster and Big Pharma. My observations on doctors predated all that bullshit. That happened during my years-long battle with brain injury and PTSD. Now, I retired in October of 2020, and while there were several reasons, one being my PTSD turning me into a mental midget, I just couldn't function anymore at a competent level. I was failing at home and as a dad, and I needed a total reset, especially after I almost plugged a sergeant while investigating at a homicide scene. And it wouldn't have been an accident either. That moment may have been the final straw, but I had actually made the decision that I was done a few weeks earlier. I just needed that kick in the ass to move on that decision. So a couple weeks earlier, some woman came in at headquarters frantic saying that her husband may have been murdered. She hadn't seen him in days and learned through the grapevine that he had been shot at a local grog bar, and that was the last anyone had seen of him. She also learned that he was dropped off at the hospital by someone and left there. So she told me that she responded to the hospital and there was no one there by that name. So the first thing I did was I went into the computer system, checked police reports, dispatch record. There were no calls for shots fired at the bar. There were no reports of a shooting victim at the hospital. And by law, all hospitals are to notify the police immediately should a victim of any type of violence show up for treatment, especially a shooting victim. HIPAA laws do not apply to that, especially when violence is involved. You got to at least alert us. The patient could tell us to fuck off. Then HIPAA comes into play. It was required that we were notified. I told the woman we had nothing, but she wouldn't quit, so I told her that I would follow up at the hospital, which I did. So I go to the hospital, and in true hospital in a Blue City fashion, I get brushed off to the side to wait forever for help. I'm sitting there in the main ER waiting room. It's standing room only during the height of the COVID scare. And eventually an employee comes up and says, we have no one by that name, but we may have a shooting victim in recovery across the street. She gives me his name. Well, it turns out he was an illegal alien who came in and admitted his residency status to staff. So they logged him in purposely under a false name, which is why his wife couldn't locate him because she was giving them his real name. And they purposely disobeyed the law and didn't report it to us to protect him, as if we gave a fuck what his status was. Folks, when I hit a victim, I didn't give a shit if they were from another planet. In that situation, status was irrelevant as it should be. They were my victim just as much as they were their patient. But to back up, while I was standing there for over an hour in a waiting room with people hacking up their lungs, I was in a corner up against the wall to my right, just inches away. And I happened to look up, and there's this collage of images. Maybe 50 to 100 within this picture frame. And it's several single photos of people in scrubs holding up signs. And I took notice because, there was some babes in the image. Giggity. So then I focus on the thing as a whole and saw what was on the signs. Black Lives Matter, say her name, hands up, don't shoot. Mainly all white women in the collage, obviously. But there was one chick in the center, and she seemed to be the focus of the entire presentation. Now, her sign was special. Her sign read, "Stop killing our patients." And I decided right then, right there, that I wouldn't make my 25th year, which was a major pension bump, by the way. A bump so big, I wouldn't be stressing about my financial future as I currently am. I just couldn't do it. I wasn't going to make the final year to year and a half. So while that sergeant takes pride in thinking he was the reason, not even close. Not wanting to go prison over him did help, but shut the fuck up, bro. Nope, it was that hooah in the photo. I wrote about it at the time for lawofficer.com, titled Why I Left. I'm not the greatest writer, so I apologize in advance, but you can check it out there. So when I saw this vid on the Kyle Seraphin show yesterday, it brought me back to that moment, the exact time frame where I was assisting Travis Yates over at Law Officer. I wasn't a big writer. I used to help him with crunching numbers and statistics and research mainly. And because of that research, I was well aware when I read Stop Killing Our Patients that the medical profession had just come off a record year of deaths under care. It was around 400,000. How many unarmed black individuals did police kill that most recent recorded year? 9. 9 fucking people. And folks, unarmed doesn't mean they weren't fighting. Unarmed doesn't mean they weren't trying to grab the officer's gun. 9 compared to 400 GER. Now, obviously, that's not 400,000 cases of murder. By the way, they usually average 250,000 a year. 250,000 or 9. Stop Killing Our Patients? Anyway, of those 400 GER, how many were due to negligence? Well, that's manslaughter. Incompetence? Also manslaughter. How many were actual fucking murders? We know that the world's most prolific serial killers were in medicine, doctors of death and psycho nurses. Stop killing our patients because we love killing them ourselves. And I left because of that. I am the dumb cop here because that skank is no doubt getting paid while I'm struggling. I just couldn't last a minute longer. Coming off the summer of love to be stabbed in the back like that, and I'm supposed to trust her care? Should I need the ER for a line of duty incident? Fuck that. Either way, I let her defeat me. She won. Know your true enemy, folks. It's not the wolf in a blue uniform. It's the wolf in sheep's clothing. Sometimes they carry rulers and pointers. Sometimes they wear scrubs. Later, bitches.
Get him, Jay. I'm not a cop.
You got DP'd.